Hey guys, Beautiful Yields here. I'm gonna do a portfolio update today, as always. So here's the market for this last week. You can see it's actually very green, similar to the last week. There is a few earnings calls last week that were pretty notable, such as Apple, Microsoft was the biggest one, Meta as well. Palantir has one tomorrow after hours. So if you guys, are thinking that's going to go up, obviously grab that during the day. Um, and yeah, but you can see mostly green. Healthcare actually looks a little down. Uh, I'd say with energy, but overall not bad. In terms of, yeah, I guess that's it for this thing. Going into our Webull portfolio, we have about 223. So yes, we are even more down. Lost another $16 or something like that. Obviously, this is like, it sucks, but not a whole lot we can really do here, right? Except just kind of wish for the best, wish that it kind of goes up. It actually looks like I don't know if we had 46 before, so there might have been a reverse split. Um, but I don't know. It kind of sucks down, but I think again, fingers crossed. Eventually, something will come out. Who knows? Michael Saylor in the past has been, caught for fraud, and if something like that happened again, obviously it'd go up or go down a lot. That being said, MSTR actually had their earnings, and despite them missing like crazy, um, people still are bought into it. You can see this last week. If I go here, this last week it went up 6%, which is crazy. But earnings aren't everything, to be fair. But you can see that it was expected there and reported here. So the surprise was literally over 10,000%. And yeah, same with the revenue, went down quite a lot, missed by 5 million, but people still bought it. So it's kind of crazy. I mean, this is just like an unprecedented fun in terms of what I've seen. Um, People just buy it because it's something to buy, I guess. I see a lot of people online are saying, "Oh, like $600 is what they're aiming for," but who knows, man? All I know is, even with all that stuff, unless this really dies continuously for a long time, it's gonna be very hard for us to come back up because MSTZ is leveraged. So, yeah. But enough of that disappointment. Oh, excuse me. We can move on to this side of the portfolio. So this is actually up. If I go last week here, last week we were up about 2.5%, which is pretty nice. Sitting around what's it, $13,427 and 12 cents. I'm sorry, with us getting a dividend for $58.49 for WiMAX this week, which is very nice. And we can see here how that kind of divvied up. So the most being on QTOL, with TQQQ going up 10%, with BTOL going down 1.5. We have high yield divs, which is basically just yield max went up 2.4%, and balanced portfolio. So we can do this here. You can see that industrials were the largest overall on average. They're kind of all even, followed by financials, pretty much all even as well. And last but not least, semiconductors, which AVGO had another great week. So yeah, this one keeps going up. In terms on the negative side, or the worst growth, as we saw in these things, healthcare down again. Eli down almost 7%, which is quite a bit, as well as energy down quite a bit as well. ENPH down again, but even despite all of that, we're still actually about to our target. And consumer staples, so we're seeing the worst in Coca-Cola. Overall, though, it's not even down that much. So, yeah. But overall, not bad. I mean, nothing that I can complain about. This has just gone up. I think last week it went up pretty well, and I think the week before that it was red. But maybe we'll take a look in a sec. But I don't want to spoil anything quite yet. So, but yeah, we are looking at the last part of our portfolio, which is the algorithmic trading stuff that I'm trying out now. So we can see here that this is I filtered it because they only have all time button. You have to actually specifically select the dates, which is kind of annoying because actually on their thing here they have these buttons, but this one's doing very well, which is good. And I think last week I mentioned I was kind of annoyed with one of the funds because it's my fault. I didn't read into it, and I was kind of partially um somewhat to prove a point, but I basically got out of that. I lost about $8 on it, and I swapped it with another fund that I liked, or another thing that I found here, which is using a lot more simple approach. You can see here that it's only about this big. Main thing being basically checking if QQQ is oversold, then buy TQQQ. Checks if SPY is oversold, buy UPRO. So on and so forth, right? Then the main thing usually comes down to healthcare staples here. So currently we're holding, you can see here, XLP and XLV, which are consumer staples, and XLV, which is healthcare. Coincidentally, actually, those didn't do too hot last week, obviously, but we're still up 0.42%. So that's pretty good. And on the other one, we're up 4% for the week. But overall, we're actually up 26%. And we've pretty much only held SFIX, pretty much, I think. Let's see. We had Soxel for a little bit, but I think overall we're holding SFIX quite steadily. We've had that since the 23rd. So for a while. This one will rebalance daily. This Dr. Staple My Bonds. This rebalances daily, while this one has a threshold of 10%. It's right here. Actually, I didn't notice that. But you can see here that so far, so like I said, I think we lost about $8. We went down to like 242. Or I guess you can see here 243.13, and we're actually up at 244.16. So we're still lost money. Technically, it was not from this fund. It was actually from the other one. You know, but in fact, I wonder if I have that on my watch list. I'll take a look at that in a second. But you can see this one, we actually up about $66. So that's pretty cool. And a total, we're up about 12%. So we're at $561 on this, with the only deposit being, what is it, $500. So we're up $61. With that being said, we are on track, I think, in a couple, maybe even tomorrow, to pay our first monthly fee of $40. I did get an email from them. It basically, the way it works is it comes out of your linked bank account. My guess is if you were to unlink it, I don't even know if you can. I'm not sure how that works. Or if whatever, it didn't go through, my guess is they would probably liquidate your assets. Potentially. I don't know. I'm not really sure. M1 Finance kind of did something similar where they basically would liquidate your $3 of your asset. And I think the way they picked that was basically what was off in terms of the most target, if that makes sense. So basically, if we had a target of 50% and one was at 53%, it would take off from that first. I'm not entirely sure, but this one is just going straight through the bank account, which I actually prefer as well, because this can kind of compound as well with more shares. So let's see if I can find it here. It's this one, right? So I would have bought it probably around oh shoot. I think I had it around, well, we can see here. I think uh oops. They added this new feature actually that you can see here that your expected trades, which is kind of cool. It doesn't really do anything because you could actually kind of already see that. They send you I think a daily email based on that, and they say, oh, here's what you're gonna trade or what you're not gonna trade, kind of thing. But you can see here we did it on Monday, April 28th. So if I go into watch list on here, I do see it did go up a little bit. So April 28th, we'll do April 28th to, show the Friday here. So it's up 3%. So I guess you could make the argument that, yeah, it did go up, but from 21st-ish is when we kind of did it. So you can see here, it's only up about 0.79 because it did go down quite a bit. So I don't know. I just don't like how this, like, first of all, there's so many holdings, which is fine because a lot of these are just ETFs. Like you can see here, emerging markets. This is, T-bill. We have bonds. Then we have some other stuff here like leverage funds. The thing I don't like is how large the logic is here. And this is indicative of some other strategies. Now, let me, well, I'll show you guys the Discord that, actually, yeah, give me one sec. So this is, someone posted this last night on, one of the Discords I'm in. And it's kind of funny because, they ran a back test. And you can see here that it has like 1.8 quintillion or something final value. And they claimed it was only 13 years of data. But you can see here that it's crazy, right? It's 619% annualized return with a drawdown of only 26%, which is less than SPY. The problem that we have here, and I knew this as soon as I posted it. Posted it pretty late. I'm guessing they're probably like European or something. It's super overfit. I mean, there's no strategy in the world that is going to perform this well for that often, right? So what they probably did is literally went through every single year and every single dip and said, okay, how can I optimize this, right? And I can guarantee you that if they were to do this strategy today, right? They start it today, put some money in it, they're not going to even come close to that. In fact, that's probably going to go the complete opposite. And there's so many instances of this happening. And in order for you to do that, obviously, you have to have a lot of logic here. Now, I'm not saying exactly that's what's going on with this portfolio or this symphony is what they call it on Composer. My problem is it is so many different areas on so many different checks, right? One of my more simple ones that I'll share with you guys today, and that's another thing. This guy refused. So one guy was like, hey, can I see it? And the other guy was like, no, because it's too valuable, right? Which is kind of a joke. Because it's not valuable. If anything, again, it's like you're attaching a bowling ball to your legs and jumping in a river kind of thing. But I'll show you guys one for free. I'm not going to charge you anything. It's this one. This is one I'm actually very tempted to invest in, and yeah, I created it myself. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it outperforms, and it goes back to 2010. It outperforms the S&P 500 nearly twice as much annualized return, and the max drawdown is actually less. So, and I'm going to show you guys that, and you can see other stuff here, like the Sharpe ratio is higher, column ratio is higher. Yes, it is more volatile, and you can see that in the standard deviation, but you can see here, in the last month, we would have been up 14%, for example. In the last 3 months, we've been 8%, but, I'm going to show you why I like this and why I might invest in it. And it's because how simple it is. This is the strategy right here, right? It's very simple. Basically, we check the 14-day RSI. If it's less than 30, aka if QQQ is overbought, okay? If it's oversold, we're gonna buy TQQQ because we're thinking that it's gonna actually come back up. Otherwise, check if it's overbought, and if it is, then do SQQQ. And you can see here that we're doing QQQ. Now, if I come over here, oh, why is it not showing on this? Sometimes they do this weird thing. I don't know if you have to be on this specific page. Man, okay, I don't know. But I think it's because I have it in my watch list. Oh, no, you know what? Let me do this. Let me go max. It's kind of a weird thing, but you can see on the graph, the yellow is QQQ, the red is SQQQ, and this like purplish color is TQQQ. The majority of the time, we are having QQQ, and you can also see that on table form here, right? Like we only held TQQQ for a small amount of time. And that's because we had the crash from the tariff announcement, but the market did actually rebound. So you can see here, if I go back, let's say a month up here, we can see here, this is the tariff announcement on the well, let me go back a little bit more, maybe to like the first. Tariff announcement was like on the 3rd, I think, right here. It's technically here. But you can see here, yes, this is the thing. RSIs do kind of lag behind a little bit, so you can't have it to be like a split-second decision. But you can see that the market did kind of drag a little bit. And we actually were down beneath SPY, but then we switched to SQQQ, I believe. Or sorry, TQQQ, because our strategy said, oh, okay, this is oversold. And boom, we're up here. Now, if I actually put on QQQ, which is probably more realistic in terms of, because that's what we're actually comparing, you can see that. And QQQ has a drawdown of, well, let me go max. Has a drawdown of 35%. So yeah, we're even below that, and the returns are still even higher than that. And if you want to hold QLD, which is the 2x, or TQQQ, we can also see that as well. So max drawdown on TQQQ in the last, since 2010 is 81%, which is extremely, extremely, extremely high. The annualized return is high, but again, you have to be knowing that in retrospect, right? As well as like, it's super dangerous because at any time this could drop like this, right? And you can also see that this is from November 21st, or sorry, November 2021, and it took all the way up basically 3 years or 2.5 years to kind of regain its strength there. Whereas this one is at 24%. QLD is similar, like 63%. So I'm just showing you, obviously, most leverage tickers you're not supposed to hold long term unless you have either a really good hedge like our QLD or our BTOL and TQQQ, or you have some kind of switch logic like this. So yeah, my point is, this is a very, very, very easy, simple strategy to kind of go by. And I would not invest in any strategy if you don't understand it, right? I'm going to show you one more thing because this is also kind of interesting. If I switch these to SPY, I'm going to try to switch all these to SPY. This one would be XPXL. This one would be SPY as well. Actually, that is wrong now that I think about it, but this would be SPSX, I think. SPXS, sorry. And then this one would be SPY. And then we run this. We're going to see here that we're still actually higher. Wait, we made a mistake somewhere. What did I make a mistake on? because it's doing mostly. I don't know. That's kind of weird. Anyways, I think maybe I did this before, and maybe that's why I stuck with QQQQ. So we can just undo all of that. Oop, okay. But my point is, guys, keep it simple, right? That's the number one thing I can suggest. Do not try to overfit your strategies. Doesn't matter if you're going to get, 1.8 quintillion return. What matters is you're going to get your money returned higher than the S&P 500, and in addition to that, you're going to have less drawdown, right? Now, obviously, this you could again just make sure you're not doing anything too complicated. This guy didn't tell us anything. We actually don't know if it was only 13 years. He didn't show anything. We have no way to actually determine that. So, yeah. And look at how much slippage and regulatory fees there are. That's funny. But anyways, that is it for me, guys. And as always, I wish you guys a wealthy... Oh, sorry. Before I end the video, well, I'll show you the overall portfolio. So we're up about $323 for this week. Just behind the S&P 500 in terms of total growth, or week over end growth. So that's not bad. And then you can see here that we made quite a lot of money in the last week, so that's nice. We're still down for the month and definitely down for the year to date. So hopefully coming back, and we can see that we're only about 5.6% off our total money that we put in. So that's not bad at all. Yeah, we are a little bit behind still, about 5% or 4.5% off SPY, but I think we will be able to manage to come on top pretty soon. So that's exciting. But I'm going to close with the video here. And someone did ask if I can make an update on the Granite Shares funds, I believe. And I will be more than happy to specifically why SPY and why QQY. I will be making a video either tomorrow or on Tuesday to kind of go over those because it's been quite a while. Let's see when I posted that video. I think it was like, 1 second here. Apologies. That was 2 months ago, so I can do a kind of a 2-month overview of that, I guess. It was 67 days ago, so yeah. Anyways, look out for that video if you want to watch it. And as always, I wish you guys a wealthy future.